Welcome back to RS Academy. This is Rav Shankar. In this video, let us have a talk regarding hydrocarbons. Get ready, students, with pen and paper. So please make a note all the points what I will be writing on the board. Get ready. So let us have a clear picture regarding to hydrocarbons in this video. Hydrocarbons. Put heading along with me. Hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons. What is meant by hydrocarbons? Hydrocarbons are organic compounds. Those are made up of only hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbons are organic compounds. Hydrocarbons are nothing but organic compounds. Organic compounds. Hydrocarbons are nothing but organic compounds made up of hydrogen and carbon. Made up of hydrogen and carbon. If you look at the hydrocarbon, you must have seen that only hydrogen and carbon present in the compound. Those organic compounds are made up of only hydrogen and carbon is considered as hydrocarbons, called as hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are classified into different types based on different kinds of points, but in this session or in this video, I would like to give clear picture classification of hydrocarbon based on the bonds between carbon and carbon. Make a note. Hydrocarbons can be classified into mainly two types based on bonds between carbon and carbon. Based on bonds between carbon and carbon. These are saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated. The hydrocarbons are classified into two types. Saturated hydrocarbons, unsaturated hydrocarbons based on the bonds between carbon and carbon. So let us have a talk regarding to saturated hydrocarbons. Let us discuss saturated hydrocarbons. Get ready. Saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons consist of only single bonds between carbon and carbon. Only single bonds between carbon and carbon. These are more stable. More stable. That means the bond between carbon and carbon is a very strong. In case of sigma bond is a very strong. We are unable to break that at ordinary temperature. So it's a more stable. Next, saturated hydrocarbons are less reactive. Less reactive. Because saturated hydrocarbons, they won't react with other reagents at room temperature. They have less reactivity towards other reagents. Less reactive. So that's why these are called paraffins. Para means less, affinity means reactivity. Paraffins means less reactive. Next one. Saturated hydrocarbons do not undergo addition reactions. Addition reactions. Do not undergo addition reactions. So what is meant by addition reaction? Let us have a talk in case of chemical properties of carbon compounds. In that, let us have a talk conversion reactions, substitution reactions, addition reactions, oxidation reactions. Okay, no need to worry about it. So they do not undergo addition reactions. Next, they undergo substitution reaction. Undergo substitution reactions. Substitution reactions. Next one. Saturated hydrocarbons having only sigma bonds. 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 And the shape of the saturated hydrocarbons tetrahedral because they have only sp3 hybridized carbons. sp3 hybridized carbons. sp3 hybridized carbons means those carbons give only single bonds with neighboring. These carbon atoms undergoes sp3 hybridization. sp3 hybridized carbons gives only single bonds with neighboring. Next one. So these saturated hydrocarbons are called alkanes. Alkanes. General formula for alkanes: CnH2n plus 2. Here n equal number of carbon atoms. N equal number of carbon atoms. Listen carefully. Saturated hydrocarbon means those hydrocarbons consist of only single bonds between carbon and carbon is called saturated hydrocarbon. They are more stable, less reactive. These are called paraffins. They do not undergo addition reactions, but they undergo substitution reactions. Hydrocarbon consists of only sigma bonds. There is no any sort of double bond or triple bond, and they consist of only sp3 hybridized carbon. So that's why saturated hydrocarbons are structured generally tetrahedral in nature. So these are called alkanes. General formula CnH2n plus 2. Here n equal number of carbon atoms. Please remember these 3 points. Alkanes. Saturated hydrocarbons also called alkanes. General formula CnH2n plus 2 and n equal number of carbon atoms. Please make a note.
Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Ready? Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. Generally, unsaturated hydrocarbons are those hydrocarbons consist of at least one double bond or one triple bond between carbon and carbon. At least one double bond or one triple bond between carbon and carbon along with single bonds. They are more reactive. Due to presence of pi bonds. In case of unsaturated hydrocarbons, pi bonds are present, so pi bonds are unstable or weak bonds. So that's why they are ready to provide active centers for combine with or react with other reagents. So these are more reactive due to pi bonds. Next one. They are unstable. Unsaturated hydrocarbons undergo substitution and addition reactions. Substitution and addition reactions. Next one. Unsaturated hydrocarbons consist of sp3 hybridized carbon, sp2 hybridized carbon, or sp3 hybridized carbon. Sp hybrid. Unsaturated hydrocarbon consists of sp3 along with sp3, sp2 hybridization or sp hybridized carbon atoms are present. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. These hydrocarbons consist of at least one double bond or one triple bond between carbon carbon. They are more reactive, they are unstable, they undergo substitution reactions followed by addition reactions. They consist of sp3 hybridized carbons along with sp2 or sp. Okay? Make a note. Next one. Based on based on bonds between carbon is again classified into two types: alkenes, alkynes. Alkenes or alkynes. Alkenes means at least one double bond present between carbon. So these are called olefins. General formula CnH2n, here n equal number of carbon atoms. Alkynes. Alkynes consist of at least one triple bond between carbon. These are called acetylenes. General formula CnH2n minus 2, here n equals number of carbon atoms. Alkenes also called olefins, alkynes also called acetylenes. General formula CnH2n, here general formula CnH2n minus 2. Here in case of alkenes, sp3 hybridized carbons and sp2 hybridized carbons are present. In case of alkynes, sp3 hybridized carbon and sp hybridized carbons are present. Okay, make a note. How to distinguish between saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons? Let us assume if you are provided with two beakers consist of saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. How to identify which one is a saturated and which one is a unsaturated? With our NACTIVE we can't distinguish because of we are able to see the bonds between carbon. So that's why we can't distinguish them with our NACTIVE. Is there any test to distinguish which one is a saturated and which one is unsaturated? Yes, you're right. We have nearly 3 tests to distinguish which one is a saturated and which one is a unsaturated. Get ready. So make a tabular form. Test saturated hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon. Test saturated hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon. One is flame test. First one is flame test. Saturated hydrocarbons will bond with blue clean flame. Blue flame. Clean blue flame. If given compound burn with blue color flame, that must be considered as saturated hydrocarbon. Next one, unsaturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbon burns with yellow sooty flame. If the hydrocarbon bonds with yellow sooty flame, that is considered as unsaturated hydrocarbon. Test number 1, flame test. Saturated hydrocarbons bond with blue color flame. whereas unsaturated hydrocarbon bond with yellow sooty fluid. Test number 2. Bromine water test. Bromine water. Bromine water means bromine is a liquid non-metal. When dissolved in water, you will get bromine water. This is a red brown in color. Red brown color. Red brown color. Bromine water. If red brown color bromine water dropped in any given hydrocarbon, if it is remains unchanged, that is called saturated hydrocarbon. In case of saturated hydrocarbons, the color of bromine water remains unchanged. 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 In case of saturated hydrocarbons, become colorless. Colorless. Reddish brown color bromine water is turns into colorless in the presence of unsaturated hydrocarbon. Next one, Bayes test. Bayes test. Bayes test. Bayes test is nothing but alkaline potassium permanganate. Alkaline potassium permanganate. KMN4. Cold alkaline potassium permanganate is called Bayes reagent. This test is called as Bayes test. Bayes test. Potassium permanganate is purple in color. In the presence of saturated hydrocarbons, there is no color change, no change in color, unchanged. Unchanged. In unsaturated hydrocarbon, it turns brown color. Brown color. In case of saturated hydrocarbons, purple color potassium permanganate remains unchanged. Purple color only. But in case of unsaturated hydrocarbon, it turns into brown color. So based on these tests, we come to know which one is the saturated hydrocarbon and which one is the unsaturated hydrocarbon. Clear to you? In next video, let us have a talk how to name the hydrocarbons and saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon. Till then, please go through this content and revise well. And if you have any doubt, and leave a comment in comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day.